All right, welcome to Everything Black. Thank y'all for joining me. We got a packed show here tonight, and I'm gonna get right to it. No plan, no bull cracking. Let's talk about this government shutdown.
That serve as the basis for a government shutdown. Let's have the conversation about how to fix American healthcare, about how to make healthcare more accessible. As the president showed, he's more than willing to act on behalf of the American people for this very reason. What you don't do is say, unless you do exactly what we want to do as congressional Democrats, we're taking hostage. And the hostage, it turns out, is critical.
All right, they asked Trump about, give me a little music in here, about the government shutdown. And I want y'all to hear what he have to say. I'm going to turn my music down so y'all can hear that. Okay. Let's go over here and hear what's the whole reasoning for the government shutdown. Let's check this out.
Health care benefits. They want to open the wall again. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it. They want to open the wall. They haven't taken away boys playing in women's sports. They haven't done that. Men playing in women's sports. It's like they don't change. They lost an election in a landslide, and they don't change.
The House has passed a clean.
So you hear that? They want to open the border again. They want to keep men and women's sports. And what he didn't say is they want immigrants to have free health care. This is what's holding up America's progress. This is what's holding up Americans' checks. That's some bullshit. I'm gonna let this guy talk, and I'm gonna see. I think I got one where let's see what he say before I say anything else.
Nonpartisan, continuing resolution to fund the government until November the 21st. The president is ready to sign it. The Senate Democrats, they're standing in the way. This is ready to pass right now. This keeps the government open. This funds the government and protects federal workers and the American people from the hostage taking that has become evidently now the Democrat norm, even though it's something they decried not that many years ago. It's the Democrats' far left base and far left senators have demanded a showdown with the president. And apparently the American people just have to suffer the consequences. And so Democrats have a choice to make. They can shut down the government, subject the American people to all the problems that come past the bill. It's late.
Thank the leader for letting me borrow his chart for a minute. So he's pointing to each of these bar graphs percentage of Democratic senators who supported Biden are CRSs. Yes, that's true. Guess why?
This man's phone is ringing while he's getting ready to lie. This man is funded by billionaires to, no matter what happened, get the shit done their way. He got, if you follow the money, he got mega dollars behind him. And this is the reason why we having problems in the U.S. This guy right here, this is their puppet. You have to follow the money to find out who he's making these rules for. He believes in getting these immigrants fully paid, fully funded, keeping men and women's sports. And he believes in, what was the other one Trump was talking about? Opening the border again for immigrants. All those immigrants that came over, that was his doing. Him and his organization, that's they doing. Right? Putting that paper in their pockets. Getting them cars, getting them credit cards, getting them businesses, getting them things that they have no work history of needing. All those are benefits that belong to you know who? Us. Foundation Black America. Those benefits belong to us. That's probably our reparations money that they spread now, that they owe us. But they are gladly giving it to immigrants who make it over here. All you gotta do is get across that border. You know, for the last 4 years with Biden, they just had to get across that border and they was in. It was home base. It was paper waiting, bus ticket waiting, flight waiting. Whatever you need, we got it. Pack it up. Join us. Right? That's what they were doing for a good 4 years. Now that we voted them out, of course, I didn't vote. I'm a Foundation Black American. I did not. I sit on the couch. I'm the one of them that set the couch. That was me. These people are very evil. They have no good plans for Foundation Black America. Now, when they want to work with us or they want to deal with us, we're open to negotiations. But until then, until we get at least a anti-Black hate bill, we don't want to deal with them. We'll let them keep doing the white-on-white crime, the white-on-white fights, the white-on-white shootings. We'll let them do that. So this is the problem right here. This guy right here. This is one of the number one problems. He's the leader of the Democrat Party. One of them. This old wrinkled up son bitch right here is the problem. This is why a lot of TSA guys don't have their checks. A lot of federal army military guys don't get their checks. All because of this guy. Trying to open up things for immigrants and the LGBT. This is what the whole Democrat Party is about. This is what they're about. This is why they got voted out. Nobody trusts them. They worse than the Republicans. They are worse than the Republicans. At least the Republicans will put the racism in your face. The Democrats hides it, but they just as deadly. So let's continue to listen to this no good bastard here.
Each case, Democrats negotiated with Republicans and said, let's have a bipartisan bill. The leader says it's a clean bill. It's a partisan bill. Not once were Democrats asked for what input should be in the bill. We were not told about it. We're not asked about it, etc.
What we do all the time around here is witnessed by the chart that you're just using there.
We stand at the precipice of a government shutdown because Republicans are not serious about keeping the government open. Too many Republicans are lying through their teeth. They say, oh, the Democrats want undocumented immigrants to get health care, to get the federal dollars of health care. That is utter bull. And they know it. The law prohibits undocumented immigrants from getting payments from Medicare, Medicaid, or the ACA. There's no money, not a penny, of federal dollars that are going there. So why do they bring this up? Because they're afraid to talk about the real issue, which is health care for American citizens.
Mr. President, the same Washington politicians who were whining about DOJ laying off unnecessary bureaucrats.
This is Jonah Ernest out of Iowa. Well, you know, the racism is major league out there. This is a suspected white supremacist, I believe. So we're going to listen to her talk. But first, I wanted to go back. And talk about what the last senator said about the health care. The Democrats always talk about health care as if that's the major problem. Those people on health care had a chance to fix that shit 30, 40 years ago. Now they own it. And that's all they care about. They don't even care about whether the people get checks tomorrow. As long as the old folks who done ran up everything, didn't try to fix nothing. And that's the reason we're in this situation right now. That healthcare thing, they could have did 30, 40, 50 years ago. But that's their only point is healthcare. Everything else is for the immigrants and the LGBTQ. That's all the Democrats is about. That's it. If they ain't talking about healthcare, they ain't talking about nothing. And if you notice that, that's all he mentions. Then he say the federal funding don't go toward it. Yeah, because private funding is going to the immigrants. This is private money. They rather give it to them than to give it to the American citizens, which is the Foundation Black Americans. They don't want us to do it. They don't want us to have shit. So they got to give it to people who don't even are not citizens here. That is crazy. So let's see what she got to say here.
Democrats just a few months ago are now exposing who is and who isn't an essential employee by forcing a government shutdown. In the past, non-essential employees were sent home and then eventually shut down. This is an absolute waste of taxpayer dollars. With Democrats blocking passage of the bill to keep the government open, thousands of non-essential employees could be furloughed indefinitely when funding expires tonight. Instead of paying these bureaucrats for eliminate many of these non-essential positions. Employees. But you know who will still fail to do their jobs and cause the shutdown, namely Senator Schumer and the Democrats in Congress. Keep in mind, the government will continue working out our differences. Senator Schumer himself stated earlier this year, no member on either side, Democrat or Republican, wants a government shutdown. Both sides crushing delays to veterans program, delayed benefits for.
Now she's reading what he said a few months ago. Now he's done flipped. I'm telling you, this man is bought, paid, and delivered by his lobbyists. So the man don't care. The Democrat Party don't care. That it's about paper. It's about how soon can I get a check so me and my family can chill instead of worrying about the American people. This is where the Democrats continue to fail. They're pretty much done. They got one line left in this party, and they thought it's real thin. So the American people is not going for the Democrats. And the Republicans are they fight each other so much till they're about to be, real thin. So both parties are real thin. But the Republicans got the upper hand, and all they got to do is negotiate with the Foundation Black Americans, and it's on. So hopefully Trump will realize that. If not, then we'll just watch them crash and burn.
Military, and so much more. Senator Schumer went on to say, only extremists who can't win an argument are willing to shut down the government to bully everyone else into submission. And folks, that's exactly what is happening now.
It definitely is. So we're going to go to another video here. Let's see what I have up. I think we heard this guy. Let me see if I can shut that video down before I mess up. So we're going to go to the next one. And this one here is about COVID. They had a hearing today about COVID. I want y'all to get a little taste of this. And they told so many lies about COVID until this guy had to break it down. So check out what he said.
Tony Fauci, Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina created a weaponized virus.
Listen to
correct?
This.
Gain of function research. They contracted it out to China, and it cost
this was on EP.
Say that I was. I want to come back to maybe a little bit of science here. Dr. Scott, what would happen if we stop routine childhood vaccines?
Well, we know that there would be preventable outbreaks of preventable illness and death.
And maybe you can expand a little bit. Why is it?
Now, this guy is for, the one he's talking to is for vaccinations. and they trying to persuade people why they should get it. And I think, let's hear what he got to say. But I think he's going to be the one that we need it.
Unvaccinated children who, say, come down with measles can lead to outbreaks in schools and communities around the country. I know it sounds like a simple common sense question, but yes. I'm not a scientist, and I'm asking questions because I'm curious.
Yeah, so these are contagious diseases, and they can spread to people who either weren't able to get vaccinated, or who didn't get vaccinated, or who are severely immunocompromised.
And that's substantiated by studies and by real life experience, most recently in Texas, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Vaccines, have definitely played a role in, helping stop these outbreaks. I don't know how that could be denied.
You see how he's studying and taking a deep breath and act like he's trying to think about what to say.
Correct. And you have recently launched a project to document all of the randomized control trials that have been conducted by licensed. Talk a little bit about what that project has revealed.
Yeah, I think that you might have missed some of our discussion, but
I apologize again. I apologize too, as I do.
No problem.
Everyone here.
So thousands of studies online. We catalog.
I believe this guy's from Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. And it's another guy from Dallas. He's there, and he's going to break it all down whenever he get up here.
1,088 randomized control trials that were published between 1941 and 2025 from around the world, covering vaccines from adenovirus to Zika virus. These are all publicly accessible, and transparency is built in by design. On our Google spreadsheet that is accessible to everyone with internet access.
Knowledgist or biologist or any kind of...
Or vaccinologist, no, but I depose them regularly, including the world's leading ones with regards to vaccines, and I have to make my claims based on actual evidence when I go to court with regards to vaccines. I don't get to rely on titles.
Okay. But you're not a doctor.
No, I prefer not to be a doctor because I prefer to rely on the evidence, not slogans like we've been hearing.
Okay. Let me ask you, have you spoken to Secretary Kennedy about his decision to approve COVID-19 or availability of COVID-19 vaccines? So insurance program.
I do not recall. You get about the country, represented him in some other capacities. I've also co-counseled with him in many cases for almost a decade.
Have you been under consideration to be part of his team at HHS? Correct.
Correct. As I imagine, what knowledge is verified, glorified trade school for people trained to obey the pharmaceutical industry.
This guy here is hitting them hard. I think his name is, I want to say Toby Rogers. Could be wrong. You can kind of see it there on his desk. Let me make the screen bigger so I can see. Yeah, it's Toby Rogers. He's a PhD. This guy, they scared of him. I mean, he was in on them the whole time they was talking. He was clashing with them, right? And he bringing the heat. Well, is Toby Rogers bringing the heat.
Now, trade schools can be great, but Western allopathic medicine has completely lost its way. So, but I'm a doctor of philosophy and social sciences.
Okay, I guess we've established your views on the medical profession. I'm curious. I don't know the answer to this question. In some of your Twitter posts, you said, and I'm quoting, "You people are all going to spend eternity in hell. Nuremberg 2 first, then hell."
Questions. Chronic illness in this country has gone from 10% of children having one or more chronic conditions to now more than 50% chronic conditions. Secretary Kennedy, in the hearing that was last week, said that the latest data from the CDC says that 76% of Americans have one or more conditions. Outraged by that, and I think every person in this room should be outraged by that. I don't know how to say it anymore clearly that I'm terribly disappointed by the medical profession in the social science, higher networks, and health.
Are you comparing? I'm putting up a copy of the tweet. I'm sure you recognize it. You people are all going to spend eternity in hell. The numbers of executions, following the Holocaust, when pharma fails, we would be great.
I appreciate that. So look, let's put it in the context of COVID. I've already talked about autism. Let's talk about COVID. The state, however you define that, the military, CDC, Tony Fauci, Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina, created a weaponized virus, correct? Gain-of-function research. They contracted it out to China, and it caused a pandemic around the world once it was released. The government created a weaponized virus that then out and caused a global pandemic. When are we going to have accountability for that? I generally don't understand why government officials are allowed to engage in
Rogers, I'm not
gain-of-function
putting words
research.
in your mouth. I'm just quoting your words.
I would like to
And
have
I think
accountability for the COVID era, and I'd like to have accountability for the fact that the CDC has known since 1999 that vaccines cause autism, and they've covered it up for 26 years. How do we begin to have accountability? You want to call it something different? Truth commissions, criminal trials?
So
I would welcome
you're
that.
comparing the COVID-19 vaccine to the Holocaust.
Sir,
Well,
respectfully.
I
No, wait,
will
first-
ask that these posts be entered in the record if there's no objection.
Objection. Okay, let's, I want to move on.
So there it is, y'all. There it is. He put it out there. He said it. He told y'all what happened. He walked you through it. They denied it. They still gonna deny it. They gonna deny it to their death because this was their fault. It was under their powers, and they did nothing about it. And I ain't gonna say nothing about it because see, that would mean that we have a right to for some compensation. Those that was affected by this, a lot of us was made to take that shot because of the job we have, the employment. So some kind of way, somebody got to be responsible for all this, right? Look at them. Look at this lady back here. She's like, oh boy. You're like, yeah, we did it, but ain't nothing gonna be done about it. I'm white and I say so. Y'all know how that go. So here we are. They said it. They said it. They did it. And it's my job to let y'all know about it and to have something to think about. This stuff is real. While people out there dancing, partying, smoking, doing whatever, these people are making rules, putting people out, taking people out, making lies out of lies, telling lies after lie after lie, cover up, cover up, cover up. These are white supremacy. This is the system of white supremacy. They do not give a damn. As long as they rule with power, they cool. And they want to know what you're going to do about it. What are the people going to do about it? You want to party and don't give a damn what they do. And we're going to keep doing what we do. And it just don't play. This is Frank, Everything Black. Thank y'all for joining. We'll see y'all on the next one.